Hello, I'm Catherine, the author of Adventures in Africa, TORIANA's Spiritual Journey, and I'm going to be bringing you the final chapter, chapter 26, The Green Box Lady. Give her of the fruit of her hands, and let her works praise her in the gates. Proverbs 31:31. Leaving missionary life and moving to St. Francis Bay was a very special time for us, and we love our new home, our church and community very much. Being a wife and a mum is a calling and is special, but as a passionate missionary woman, I felt called to serving God in my community and world too. My first passion is to serve Jesus and equip others in doing this. I was able to do this through the South African Theological Seminary, where I am an online lecturer in courses that I feel called to be part of and lead students in their walk and journey of life. Some of the courses include biblical leadership, Christian counseling, church doctrine, Christian ethics, and various missionary courses. It is amazing how many people's lives you can still make an impact on online. But the other part of me likes to engage physically with people, grow them, build them up, and to connect with people in my community. The first part of my journey connecting with my community was being a teacher at St. Francis College. I assisted the school while one of their teachers went on maternity leave. One of my highlights in the class was leading them in daily devotion. I decided to bring my book along, the TORIANA book, this particular book we've all been reading, and I read a chapter or part of a chapter that we could talk through each morning. I did not tell them that it was a book about me. So each day we read, they all became closer to the main character of the book, TORIANA. When we were nearing the end of the book, which at that time was only chapter 12, I asked them if they would like to meet the author. They were so excited, and both girls and boys were very keen to meet the author. So I promised them that I'd try to organize it after we read the final chapter of the book. The next day when I arrived and read chapter 12, some of them had tissues to wipe away the tears, and you couldn't even hear a pin drop. Then I explained that I was the author and the main character. Then they all came around me while I was sitting on the chair at the front of the classroom, and we hugged. I became so close to this class of children, it was incredible. They asked if I was going to write more chapters, and I promised them I would. They all wanted to be part of the next chapter, or one of the chapters in the book, and so I asked them if they wanted to use their own names or a make-up name. Some wanted their names, others brought a name they wanted to use in the book. These are the beautiful children I had in my class, and I still follow what they are doing and how they're growing up in such incredible young men and women. So some of these names are made up and some are real names. These are the names they gave me: Demi, Perron, Giev, Elizabeth, Jarvie Jr., Rose, Kat, Alex, Super Mr. Pineapple, Dan, Mr. McGregor, Mr. Messi, Minnie Mossy, Rory, Amelia, Movesy, Capricorn, Coral, Eva, Rosie, Ruby River, Harry, Cowney Jr., Dangerous Scorpion, and Disco. Some of my fond memories include Mr. Super Pineapple, Dan the Man, and Mr. McGregor. Before I started a lesson and I wanted the children to settle down and be quiet, I would simply stand in front of the classroom and start the countdown. From 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, and by the time I reached 0, all the children knew they must be at their desks, ready with their books, and absolutely quiet. After having had this routine for weeks, Super Mr. Pineapple was sitting with Dan the Man and Mr. McGregor, and he couldn't resist himself as I started with 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and reached 1. With a loud voice, he rocketed up out of his chair with his arms facing into the clouds, declaring, "Blast off!" Well, I could not contain myself and burst out laughing together with the whole class. Another memory was Valentine's Day. The children knew I was married again, but they had never seen my husband. It was during break time and the bell rang, had rung, and I came to my classroom to find Robert, my husband, in the classroom with a huge bunch of red roses. I went as red as the flowers. Robert kissed me, gave me the flowers, and left. As I put them on my desk, my class all looked at me in a shocked way. I asked them what was wrong. They asked me, "What about your husband?" Asked them to explain why. And they said, or I asked them to explain. They said this man had brought me flowers and told them he was my secret admirer, my boyfriend. I then explained to them that this man was actually my husband. They all breathed a sigh of relief, and again we all had a good laugh. My favorite times with the class was in the devotions or garden times, where each of them had a patch of garden that they grew their own vegetables and flowers. They worked in groups and nurtured their little gardens into some beautiful spaces where they harvested some lovely vegetables. When my time of teaching them was coming to an end, as their teacher was returning from maternity leave, I received a letter from one student, and I will put parts of it below. Her letter touched me deeply, and I was glad I'd had the opportunity to be with them and teach them. I have only included parts of her letter. Dear Mrs. Falconer, I loved having you as a teacher. You explain everything so clearly, so everybody understands. I have almost finished the book TORIANA. It is so inspiring, and you've inspired me to trust more in the Lord, and I seem to be praying much more. My favorite chapter in the book is TORIANA. The name truly suits you. I like that part in which you said, "I promised my grandmother that I'd do my best to look and act like a lady." I love how you help people in everything, like in your book when you went to the hospital and saw all those children in pain and helped them. I truly hope that when I am all grown up that I'll be able to help others as you did. Thank you, Mrs. Faulkner, for all you have done for me. I will miss you lots, your student. This letter touched me so much, and I believe the student, together with others, has grown beautifully both inwardly and outwardly. Another part of my journey connecting with my community was when I had this idea to start a small business connecting the farmers directly to people in St. Francis Bay. I'd built a network of friends on the Moms group in St. Francis Bay and did a survey of this idea. They brought their suggestions of having returnable glass bottles and only using paper bag packaging to keep and save our environment from plastic. I loved their ideas and then asked them all to suggest a name for this business. Lots of moms and children gave suggestions. Then we voted on the best name, and 3 children had chosen the name The Green Box. This name won most of the votes, so this became the start of my little business. The more I developed relationships with farmers, jam makers, bakers, people then just came across my path, and I was able to load their supplies onto what I had available, supporting locals in their businesses and farms. Then came COVID-19, and with it lockdowns in South Africa and many parts of the world. To some it meant a loss of jobs, and their businesses struggled. In this time, the Green Box grew as delivering food was seen as an essential item, and I was therefore free to collect from farms and deliver. I grew a team of wonderful ladies as my staff, Pearl, Mama Pearl, and Asi, stood by me side by side in this business through every challenge. As I drove around in a little fridge truck, I met so many people excited to talk and thrilled to see a new face. Some started to call me the Green Box Lady. Meryl was one special person that I did not know had cancer at the time of our deliveries. She looked forward to delivery day. Every Thursday she would wait in her little car at the entrance of her gate. As we stepped out of the truck to deliver milk, we chatted, and she told us it brought back special memories of when she was a child, waiting for the milkman to deliver in his cart. It was connections and moments like these that I realized how important the Green Box was, and is. I discovered many people struggled, if not financially, they were struggling emotionally. Connecting with people each delivery day, even if it's a wave and a smile, meant a lot to us and to them. I also created a Green Box voucher that people could contribute an amount each week, and the lump sum of the amount I would split into vouchers for people to buy their own food that we could deliver to. No one ever knew except God and me. Everyone in our community that ordered received a Green Box of good, healthy food straight from our local farms, as well as baked items. It kept the cash flow going, even if it was only a small amount each week. It gave people purpose and a reason to get up in the morning, even though they were locked down. It was even in this time that businessmen that I delivered to were locked down in St. Francis Bay came up with the idea of an online shop, which has developed into what is now where people can order all their food and supplies on www.greenboxorders.co.za. It is limited to St. Francis Bay. I also delivered to the Green Room in J Bay. I'm saying this as I have even had orders from Durban or Cape Town, but I like to keep it local with my own community that I have built relationships with. Many people have asked me, is the Green Box a successful business? And I would say yes, but for different reasons. It is because it is bringing freshly harvested and baked items from people within our community to people's homes. Healthy, mostly organic, in paper bags or glass bottles. It is supporting small businesses. It has not been about making money. It has been more than that, providing people with love, with a smile, with good food and connectivity. This is what I feel passionate about, connecting people, loving people, and hopefully connecting them to the God that I love and serve. He has brought me through each chapter of my life. He has sustained me. He has provided my heart's desires, not in my ways, but His ways. I have enjoyed writing this book, and I hope one or more of the chapters has ministered to your heart, brought encouragement and hope to not give up, to trust Him, and to keep running the race set before you. My prayer is that this book has built your faith to hold on to Jesus no matter how deep the valley is, and that you too can dream and hope again in the plans Jesus has for you, just as I have been able to. God bless you.